Hello. Welcome to the Oprah Winfrey Show. We have a very important guest and I am honored to have him here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome American software freedom activist and computer programmer, Richard Stallman.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here tonight.
Richard here is an extremely talented hacker who is part of the open source movement. Now I know many of you here don't know what it is, but don't worry. That's why we have him here with us. So Richard, why don't you tell us a little bit about this open source movement?
Of course. But before I get into the open source movement, we have to understand what is a software. A software is a program that gives direction to a computer. Basically, it tells the computer what to do. So a free software is just a software that is free. This means you can use it without purchasing a license. You can use it however you want without having to worry about getting sued.
Well, thanks for clarifying that for us, Richard. What I don't understand is, what does free software have to do with the open source movement?
Actually, free software has everything to do with the open source movement. The open source movement is a movement where individuals support free distributions and access of license-to-use software. Essentially, our goal is to have users have the freedom of exchanging and modifying software.
That is great. But how would this system work? Doesn't a software need to be purchased before one is allowed to use it? In this case, if the software is free, how would you guys benefit from it?
Actually, it's quite simple. Let me use an example. Wikipedia, one of the largest and most popular online encyclopedias, is a free software. Programmers who support the open source movement openly volunteer to write and exchange programming codes for sites and programs like these. Furthermore, they don't take a lot of monetary aid to run. Wikipedia only need $5,000 in donation to be accessible.
Wow. That is amazing. But if everyone can pool their ideas together to better a software by modifying the code, why isn't all software free?
Actually, there are a couple of reasons why it might not appear straightforward to some people as it would to others. First off, there are still a great number of people who are not aware of the open source movement. For some of those that know of it, they think it is unreliable because when is anything free? Furthermore, open source software is also harder to use than that of proprietary software. Not only that, but open source software is often based on developing software that is already there instead of creating new ones. That's why there's still people out there paying for proprietary software while there's similar versions of it for free.
Wow. Isn't this something? Thank you, Richard, for coming out here tonight. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we are running out of time. If anyone wishes to know more about our guest, Richard Stallman, or about the open source movement, you can Google or YouTube them online. Now let's give a round of applause for our guest. And thank you for watching the Oprah Winfrey Show.